Okay, so you know how you shared that article with us, the
Hmm.
one from the unit consulting,
Yeah, yeah.
about building a strong workplace culture?
Uh-huh.
I think it was called like How to Develop Something Something.
How to develop a strong workplace culture. Yeah.
That's it. That's the one. Well, get this. That's exactly what we're diving into today.
Awesome. Should be a good one.
You know our mission by now.
Break it all down. Make it easy.
Exactly.
Mhm.
We're going to pull out all the good stuff from that article, the stuff that really matters.
Mm.
You know, all the insights about building a killer workplace culture, but without all the headache-inducing HR jargon. You get the info quick and clean.
Straight to the point. I like it.
So the article makes a really great point right off the bat.
Let's hear it.
It basically says, forget about casual Fridays and all those surface-level perks.
Okay. I'm listening.
A truly strong workplace culture, it's so much more than that. It's like the foundation, the bedrock,
The foundation for what, though?
for everything. For keeping your best people from jumping ship.
Makes sense.
For sparking those awesome, innovative ideas. And ultimately, for making sure your business is set up to win in the long run.
Gotcha. So it's not just about keeping employees happy then.
Right. Employee happiness is part of it, for sure.
Sure.
But it's much bigger than that.
I see. So how do we build this bedrock? Where do we even start?
Well, the unit consulting breaks it all down into 5 clear steps.
5. Okay, I can handle 5.
And we're going to cover all 5.
Hit me.
All right, step 1. Define your core values. This is like the DNA of your company. It's all about figuring out what your company truly stands for.
I like that. The DNA. So these values,
Mm-hmm.
they're not just like motivational posters on the wall.
Exactly. They need to be the driving force behind everything.
Behind everything.
Everything. Your company policies, how your leaders act, what you expect from every single employee, it all flows from those core values.
I'm starting to see the picture here. So how do we actually figure out what these core values are?
Well, the article has some really smart questions to get you thinking.
Like,
What is it at its heart that your company really truly stands for? What are those must-have values that will never be compromised no matter what tough choices you face? And maybe most importantly, how do you want your employees and your customers to feel when they interact with your business?
okay, I'm getting the sense that this is going to take some serious brainstorming.
It does. These aren't just like quick off the top of your head answers. These are the questions that really make you stop and think about the soul of your company.
Okay, deep stuff. But let's say we've done the soul searching and we figured out our core values. Now what? We just put them on a plaque and call it a day.
Nope. The article stresses that it's not enough to just identify these values. You have to actually bring them to life, embed them in how your business operates every single day.
Okay, I'm with you. So how do we do that? How do we make these values less blah, blah, blah and more boom, this is how we roll?
Well, the article points out 3 key areas where you can really weave these values into the fabric of your workplace.
I'm ready.
All right, first up, hiring and onboarding.
So right from the get-go.
Exactly. You want to attract people who not only have the skills, but who also naturally vibe with your company's values.
So weave those values into the job descriptions, the interview questions.
You got it. And then during onboarding, you really emphasize those values. Make sure new hires understand this is not just a job, it's a culture they're joining.
Cool. So what's the next key area?
Performance evaluations.
Interesting.
This is huge. It's all about recognizing and rewarding employees who are truly living those values every day.
Oh, I see. So it's not just about hitting sales targets or whatever.
Right. It's about saying, hey, we see you going above and beyond to embody our core values, and that's what we value most.
Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
All right, what's the third area?
Communication, communication, communication.
Always important, right?
You can't just define these values and then bury them in a drawer somewhere.
Right.
You have to constantly talk about them, remind people, weave them into team meetings, internal newsletters.
Keep those values top of mind. I like it.
Exactly. So let's say one of your core values is customer first.
Okay, pretty common one.
Right. But it can't just be a slogan. You have to back it up with action.
So what, like specific policies?
Yep. Policies, training programs, even incentives that reward employees for delivering exceptional customer experiences.
Show them you mean it.
That's the key. All right. Ready for step 2?
Lay it on me.
Leading by example. This one might seem obvious,
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
but it's so crucial. The article emphasizes that the culture of any organization really does start at the top.
With the leaders.
Exactly. Employees are always watching, whether they realize it or not, taking cues from how their leaders behave.
So if the boss is cutting corners or acting unethically,
That sends a message, a really loud message.
not a good one.
Not at all. So the article breaks down how leaders can actively shape a positive culture.
I'm all ears.
First up, transparency. Leaders need to be open books. Share the company goals, be honest about challenges, celebrate wins together.
Builds trust.
Absolutely. Makes everyone feel like they're in the loop, part of something bigger.
I can see how that would boost morale. Okay, what else?
Walking the talk.
Meaning.
It's not enough to just talk about those core values. Leaders have to actually live them every single day.
Actions speak louder than words.
1,000%. If integrity is a core value, your leaders better be the most upstanding people in the room.
No hypocrisy allowed. What's the last piece here?
Engagement. Leaders need to connect with their teams regularly, make everyone feel included and valued, make sure people know their work matters.
Yeah, feeling like you're just a cog in a machine is definitely not good for morale.
Not at all. And get this, the article even cites a study from the U.S. Department of Labor.
Oh, interesting. What did they find?
They found that companies with really engaged leaders have much higher employee morale and, get this, lower turnover.
So leaders taking the time to build the right culture, it actually pays off.
Big time. Makes a real difference to the bottom line. All right, moving on to step 3.
What's next?
Fostering open communication. This might sound simple, but it's all about creating a space where people truly feel heard.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about, but harder to actually do.
Totally. It takes real effort, but when you get it right, the benefits are huge.
Such as?
It builds trust, like serious trust between team members and between employees and management.
Makes sense.
It gets people more engaged, makes them feel like they belong, and it prevents all those misunderstandings that can turn into big problems later.
Yeah, when people feel like they can speak up, things don't fester.
Exactly. So the article suggests a few ways to make this happen.
Give me the goods.
First, actively encourage feedback. Make it easy for people to share their thoughts and concerns, both good and bad.
Gotcha. So like anonymous surveys?
Those can be great, especially for sensitive issues. You get honest feedback without anyone fearing repercussions.
And what about for those who prefer a more direct approach?
Open door policies. Make it clear that anyone can come talk to their manager anytime, no appointment needed.
I like that. Accessibility is key. But there's a catch, right?
You nailed it. It's not enough to just collect feedback. You have to act on it.
Show people that you're actually listening and
Yeah.
that their input matters.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's just empty gestures. Okay, next tip.
I'm ready.
Regular team meetings.
Ah, the classic team meeting.
But done right, they can be so valuable. It's a chance to share updates, celebrate wins, address concerns.
A dedicated time for open dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on board.
And don't underestimate the power of recognition.
You mean like acknowledging people's accomplishment?
Exactly. Celebrating milestones, both big and small, giving shout-outs to individuals and teams who are crushing it.
Creates a positive vibe.
For sure. It shows that you see and appreciate people's hard work, and it reinforces the behaviors you want to see more of.
So communication is key. Got it. But is there any hard evidence that this stuff actually works?
You bet there is. The article mentions a Gallup study that found companies with high employee engagement are a whopping 21% more profitable.
Wow, that's significant.
It is. It shows that creating a culture of open communication isn't just about fluffy feel-good stuff, it's good for business.
I'm convinced. Okay, what's next on our list?
Step 4. Prioritizing employee well-being and work-life balance. This one has become super important lately.
Yeah, for sure. People are burnt out, stressed.
Totally. And the article points out that supporting well-being isn't just a nice perk anymore, it's essential.
It's like a strategic advantage.
Exactly. Organizations like OSHA, they're really emphasizing mental and physical health in the workplace.
Right, because ignoring those things leads to burnout, lower productivity. It's a lose-lose.
Exactly. So how can companies support well-being? Well, the article suggests a few things.
I'm all ears.
First, offering flexible work arrangements.
Like remote work, hybrid schedules, that kind of thing.
You got it. This can make a world of difference, especially for people struggling with long commutes or trying to juggle family responsibilities.
Less stress, more control over their time. I can see how that would lead to happier, more productive employees.
That's the goal. And it also shows that the company trusts its people to manage their own time effectively.
It makes them feel valued. Okay, what else can companies do?
Providing opportunities for career development and growth.
So like training programs, mentorship opportunities.
Exactly. When people feel like they have a future at the company, they're much more likely to stick around.
And grow their skills, which benefits the company in the long run. Makes sense.
And finally, supporting mental health.
Really important one.
This could be through things like employee assistance programs or EAPs.
What are those again?
They're programs that offer confidential counseling and support for employees dealing with personal or work-related challenges.
Oh, right, right. So employees have a safe space to reach out for help if they need it.
Exactly. And it shows the company cares about their well-being, not just their output.
Compassionate leadership, I like it.
And guess what? The article mentions a U.S. Chamber of Commerce study that found companies investing in well-being see up to 25% lower turnover.
Wow, that's a big difference.
It is. It means you keep your best people, which saves tons of money on recruitment and training.
Convinced me.
Mm.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. What's the final step?
The fifth and final but absolutely crucial step is ensuring legal and HR compliance.
Oh, the legal stuff. Can't forget that.
This might not be the most exciting part, but it's the foundation for a sustainable and ethical workplace.
Yeah, you can have the best culture in the world, but if you're not following the rules, it can all come crashing down.
Exactly. So the article stresses that compliance is non-negotiable. It's about protecting your business from legal headaches, fines, lawsuits.
Not to mention protecting your employees from unfair treatment.
Exactly. And they highlight a few key areas to focus on.
Okay, let's hear them.
First up, wage and hour laws.
Making sure everyone's paid fairly, getting their overtime, all that good stuff.
You got it. Primarily governed by the Fair Labor Standards Act, or FLSA.
Right, the FLSA, the one that sets the minimum wage and all that.
Exactly. Screw this up and you could be in big trouble.
Okay, noted. What else?
Harassment and discrimination policies.
Another big one.
And it's not enough to just have them written down somewhere.
Everyone needs to be trained, right?
Absolutely. Everyone needs to understand what's acceptable behavior and what's not.
And how to report any issues they see.
You got it. Create a workplace where everyone feels safe, respected, and protected.
So important. All right, what's the last compliance area?
The employee handbook.
Ah, the good old handbook.
It needs to be up-to-date, clear, and aligned with both federal and Texas state laws.
So no outdated policies from like 1998.
Nope. Keep it current. It protects your business and gives employees clear guidance on expectations.
A win-win. So I'm hearing that compliance isn't just about avoiding lawsuits.
Right. It's about creating a fair and equitable workplace for everyone.
Which ultimately contributes to a stronger, more positive culture.
Exactly. It all comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
So taking a step back, what's the main takeaway from this article?
I'd say it's that building a strong workplace culture isn't something that just happens. It's a deliberate process.
Like an ongoing project.
Exactly. It takes thought, planning, and a commitment to constantly improving.
You nailed it. It's about defining your values, having leaders who walk the talk, fostering open communication, prioritizing well-being, and making sure everything's legally sound.
A holistic approach.
Exactly. And all this amazing insight comes from the experts at the Unit Consulting, a Texas-based HR firm.
They seem to really know their stuff.
They do. They specialize in helping small and mid-sized businesses navigate the often complex world of HR.
So they understand the unique challenges those businesses face.
Absolutely. And they offer a whole suite of services to help you build a better workplace.
Like what?
Compliance training to make sure you're following all the rules, leadership development programs to empower your managers, and employee retention strategies to help you keep your best people.
Sounds pretty comprehensive.
It is. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by HR stuff or just want to create a more awesome workplace, reach out to the Unit Consulting.
Worth a shot.
They're ready to help. You can connect with them online or just give them a call at 956-230-6866.
956-230-6866.
Got it. So after this deep dive into workplace culture, there's a big question I think every business leader needs to ask themselves.
What's that?
Is a thriving workplace culture just a nice to have, a perk you offer employees? Or is it actually the key to long-term success, the thing that will make or break your business in today's competitive world?
It's something to really ponder.
It is.
Because at the end of the day, your people are your greatest asset.
And creating a culture where they can thrive, that's not just good for them, it's good for everyone.
It's good for the bottom line.
It's good for the world.